Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Decentralized Masters podcast, your go to source for everything in decentralized finance. I'm Tristan, and I'm here today with my co host, Jon, back from vacation. We're here to guide you through the ever changing world of DeFi, one strategy at a time. Every week, right here on Decentralized Masters YouTube channel, we're going live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to bring you the latest insights and tools to help you master the DeFi space. So, how was vacation?
Pretty good. Not like I still need another one, I think, but it's good going on vacation and then coming to the market, like just going up and then making money while on vacation. So I can't complain, man. I love during this time of crypto that it's like you're so busy talking crypto, markets are going up. Especially right now with our community, we have so many new members coming in. Members renewing their memberships as well. So this is a good time. I love this time because I'm super busy. Holiday season's around the corner. Um, we're all making money. Everyone's happy. So it's a good time to be alive, man. I can't complain.
Yeah. Did he go anywhere?
Yeah, I went to Lake Arrowhead, man. I went to Lake
Like
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead.
Yeah, it's near Big Bear. It's near a few other pretty big parks out there. Uh, Usually, I typically go there, every couple once in a while. It's like almost every other month or every couple months. I try to take myself away from the electronics, especially because we're always sitting behind a computer most of the time.
Whether it's a
And I want
computer or a phone. Yeah.
and I disengage myself with technology for a bit and just enjoy nature. So that's usually where I go to as a I guess as a reset. It's really a reset. That's why I like to take those little small trips out to the mountains and disconnect from technology at least for a while. I think it's definitely needed for the mind. So that's really one of the main reasons why I do that pretty often.
Yeah. I'm quite jealous. I have to take a vacation at some point as well. We'll see.
You
We'll
have
see.
to, man. You have to.
Yeah.
AZ, welcome
Hell,
in, AZ.
welcome in, AZ. All right.
Yeah,
So,
the reason why I also took it, man. I had a feeling the
hmm,
markets were going to pump. If you remember from like our last sessions, our office hours, and Let's Talk Crypto, I was mentioning how I
mhm.
had a feeling Ethereum was going to take off, altcoins were going to start pumping, and I told myself I got to take a break right now because I know in the next coming weeks things are going to get busy.
You're
So
not gonna get.
I
You
know
wouldn't have
moving
the
forward, man.
opportunity.
I know moving forward, there might not be any more vacations until probably until the end of December because this is where
Yeah.
like if the market continues to pump, we're just going to start to see the market take off from now, or let's just say early August, September, going all the way up to the holiday season. I mean, holiday season is the busiest overall.
Mhm. Santa Claus rallies.
Yeah, the Santa Claus rallies. Yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
he can come deliver a nice trading opportunity for all of us.
exactly.
Well, let me go ahead
Yeah.
and share my screen here with you, but share a few things with us, Tristan. What's going on with you overall? Any new trades you've been taking? Any new platforms you've been checking out? I know you have a few things to share. So without spoiling that information, anything new?
I've been really following on the X stocks, and so got things like the new ones that you got on Solana there. I have been testing with collateral as well, using it as collateral. So I bought some S&P 500 tokenized versions on the Solana network. I put them on Camino, which is a lending and borrowing protocol on the
Nice.
Solana network. And then I took out a small USDC loan against it just as a test. It wasn't any significant amount of money, but the fact that we can now take out a loan against, the S&P 500,
Crazy, man.
it's crazy. It's
Opportunities.
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stock market's been killing it too. Like anything
Mm.
exciting in the stock world for you?
Not too crazy. It is performing very well. How much of that is just inflation is hard to say. We might see some volatility coming up though, just as we got some tariff deals coming through. Looks like there's some negotiations with the EU that are going very slowly. So we'll have to see what's going on there. And actually, a war broke out. Well, we'll see how serious it becomes. But the war broke out in Southeast Asia last night between
Wow.
Thailand and Cambodia. Hopefully, it's just
Wow.
it's
Is that why the market's green today?
no, wait, I don't know. I don't even honestly. I don't even think anyone in Wall Street even heard about it. I don't think it was terribly relevant. But
It's an inside joke. Remember, Tristan, how I always mentioned during wars, markets always go up.
yeah, yeah, it could be it. Yeah, where's the tokenized Lockheed Martin stock? I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah, imagine them having tokenized defense stocks. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I
sooner
don't even
rather
think
than
they'll even
later, it'll
allow that
happen.
though, right? You think so? You think that'd
Oh,
be too much of a
they'll allow it.
threat? Yeah,
No
like
way,
as
they'll
long as we
allow it.
make money, it's good.
Yeah, they'll allow it. No way. Because the ownership of it technically is still in the hands of some American entity, so I think they would be fine with it.
That would make sense. That definitely would
Yeah.
make sense. Do you see a lag on my end, by the way, when I'm speaking? Because I see a small lag on my end. I'm going to start shutting some things down on my computer. But you don't see any kind of lag, right, when I'm speaking? Anyone?
No, you have no speaking lag, but you have a video lag.
Okay, video lag. So let me see if I can shut down a few things here on my end. I do see my CPU is pretty high. It's up in the 95s. It's insane.
Ooh, it's hot.
That is, yeah. Probably should put up my fan too. Probably cool it down. But yeah, there's a lot of new things going on. Pretty big week we had last week was crypto week, which was pretty crazy. Honestly, I was expecting to buy the rumor sell the news event, and it actually turned out to be the opposite. Were you
Yeah,
pretty
there
surprised
was.
about that?
I was.
Or did you really
Well,
expect it to go up? Because I wasn't expecting that.
yes and no. I had been expecting it to go up for a while now, but just not as violently and suddenly as it did. I was expecting more of a gradual increase, slow and steady. But the market said, "Nah, we're going up now."
Well, you know how markets are. You know, from a technical perspective, slow and steady always wins the race, and it's the way it should go. But when you start to have a lot of greed in the market and a lot of excitement with FOMO and liquidations, that starts to push the price action of a lot of these assets up a lot higher than what we expect, right? So that's why
Mhm.
dollar cost average is always your friend. You dollar cost average, you let the thing do its thing, and then you reposition yourself if you have to. Uh, but yeah, I'm actually surprised, honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm surprised. But if you remember, I mentioned, I said, I think by the end of July, we would see Bitcoin at $125,000. Like, I gotta look for that video and clip it because that's like,
Yeah.
it hasn't hit 125, but like we hit what, 123? If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
we almost
We
did. Yeah, it was like
we topped at
123.
like 122, 123. So we almost got to that price target that we expected. So that's some pretty good things. Looking at the market right now overall with crypto bubbles, we see a little bit of green. Who knows what that could be? I do see a little
Mhm.
reversal on the stock market right now, slowly coming up, but also the stock market is taking a dip. Keep in mind, tomorrow is Friday. The one that there has been a lot of talk and hype about has been pump.fun. This thing basically a pump and dump. Is this surprising? No. Um,
No.
I actually came across an article today on LinkedIn about someone talking about pump.fun and how engagement and like community is very important, and like almost like a told you so kind of post. And I had a comment in. I had to go in there and give my opinion out on LinkedIn. And I said, I don't remember the exact words of what I said, but I basically said, like, this is typical for IPOs, ICOs, or pre-sales. Seeing tokens pump and dump from their initial offering is very, very typical. And I don't think personally that's a way to judge a token, because I think all of us should already know by now that IPOs always dump. They always dump. And if they do pump, then they dump 80-90%, right? We saw the
Yeah.
same thing happen with Sui. Sui went ahead, and I could even show you a nice chart with Sui, how Sui looked like. It literally looked like a pump and dump chart. It literally pumped, dumped 80, almost 80%, and then look at Sui now, up at new highs, right? So I wouldn't say like we could really judge too much on Pump.Fun being down 45%, even though the rest of the market's doing good. It was an overhyped token. Who knows how the tokenomics were really set up to as well. But typically, when tokens go live, they're almost instantly known to like dump and basically crash. That is a typical thing in the market. It's not something unusual. What are your thoughts you have to say about Pump.Fun, man?
Yeah, and what you're saying is totally correct. You even get in the stock market, like we've looked at Beyond Meat before on the podcast.
That's a laughing stock, man.
And it's exactly the same. It's like IPO straight up and then right
Yeah.
back down and never recover. Well,
Never recovered.
basically on
That's
beat,
that's
never
it's
recovered.
actually
Yeah,
worse than like a meme coin. I think like Beyond Meat's like worse than a meme coin. Like at least Pepe has more value than that. I mean, Beyond Meat sells
yeah.
meat, but even then, their stock's down still 90%. But let me show you this real quick. So Sui, you're not gonna get the full show to Sui. Let's see if I could go ahead and show you another chart. Perhaps maybe Binance will show us the whole show. They always are, or usually always the first exchange to list a token.
Mhm.
So check this out. There you go. Perfect. Sui, when it first went live, check this out. I'm not sure this is officially when the token went live, but this is officially when it went live on Binance. You see Sui go as low as under 10 cents, pumps all the way up to $2, and then just crashes from $2 all the way down to about 42 cents, which this right here is going to be over a 50% dump. Yeah, it's going to be an 80% dump
Yeah.
from a technical perspective, you want to be exact. And it dumped. It had the same thing, pumped, then it dumped, and then it finally ran up, right? So really what I was mentioning with like what happened with Pump.Fun and what we're seeing right now with or what we've seen in the past with Sui is this. And this is exactly what's going to happen with Pump.Fun. So am I touching Pump.Fun? No. I'm going to touch it probably once it settles down right here, where the falling stops and the scarcity stops, and then I'll start re-engaging with it and probably positioning myself. But this is a perfect example of what happens to most tokens. This is normal. And Pump.Fun has a really strong utility. Sorry, Sui has a very strong utility. I'm not sure if people would consider it more than Pump.Fun, but I think Sui is doing more things in DeFi and like in the real world asset. I think, in my opinion, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct?
I'd agree with that. Pump.Fun is, it's a meme platform. You got a launch pad for meme coins.
It's basically a gambling platform. That's what it really is. It's a gambling token,
Yeah.
right? So that is one thing I wanted to go ahead and show. And before I forget, actually, one thing that I also wanted to go ahead and show, a perfect example was Barachain. I'm not sure if you guys remember. I called this token falling actually back over here. Also another clip I need. But yeah, Barachain right here. I wasn't too excited to buy at these levels. Barachain now, 100% excited to buy at these levels. So we'll go a little bit more into this a little bit deeply. We're going to go ahead and start off with the stock market first, talk a little bit about what's going on there. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then as you see, I just went ahead and shared one position with you guys for all of you watching right now. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications. But I just shared a play right now with you guys, Bera. I shared a few too, and so did Tristan. And these tokens have been up at least over 50+%. So definitely information you do not want to go ahead and miss out. So Barachain, this is some alpha before I go ahead and go into some news. So go ahead and check out this token. I'll go a little bit more deeply into why I believe this is going to go up. But let's go ahead and take a look into the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones right now is finally climbing back up. We are entering some areas of resistance. It looks like we're getting ready for a breakout. If we can end the week tomorrow with some green, that is going to mean that next week is going to be nothing but green. Keep in mind, I believe next week it will be the FOMC meeting, the last FOMC meeting we have for July until September. So if we do see this breakout in the stock market and we do see the Dow Jones, because it's been lagging a little bit behind, NASDAQ has been leading. But if the Dow Jones finally picks up, I think we could be seeing some more excitement coming into the market. What are your thoughts on this, Tristan? Do you think we'll be able to break out tomorrow, or tomorrow's going to be a sell-off like we usually do on the weekends?
I think we might have a little bit of a sell-off, crystal ball, and see if it's working or not. But he is talking tomorrow, and the markets were a little iffy on what Jay Powell could say. I know that the poly market right now is looking really good for an interest rate cut. I know we'll get into that later, but
Really?
things are looking good. But in the short term here, I think we might tread water a little bit.
But not a
Just
rate
go
cut for
sideways.
July, right? You're not seeing a rate cut for.
No,
Okay.
no.
Hey, if the rate cut for July comes in, I think that's going to kick off the altcoin season.
Yeah,
I think we're going to
altcoin
start going.
full
We're going to
swing.
start having those parabolic runs. I believe, in my opinion, we're going to start seeing those pumps just come in. If we were to get a rate cut by next week, that'd be nice. Looking
Yeah.
at the Dow, looking at the Nasdaq, we see Nasdaq is flying up. So for all of you that are in stocks as well too, stock market's killing it. I mean, I loaded up on a lot of tech stocks back during this crash right here, early April, and I'm already up 40% on stocks alone. So keep in mind, I did most of my portfolio is Nasdaq, which is more aggressive. But yeah, I mean, stock market has been killing it too as well. Anything you've been picking up lately on stocks, man, for the Nasdaq?
S&P 500. I've kept it really boring. Because right now I'm in a pretty critical space where I'm trying to think whether I am even going to continue funding my brokerage or if I'm just going to run everything through my ledger, keep everything decentralized. There's still things that I need for my brokerage. Like I don't think there's anyone doing international stocks on the horizon.
Yeah.
But like I'm seriously considering just going full out on decentralized.
Yeah, I was thinking the same too, man. Like I've been fully into the whole entire decentralized sector. I like being decentralized. Um, and then sometimes like I think you asked me why have it on your Robinhood account, And I was like, well, it's a Roth, you know what I mean? If they had like a Roth that it's like fully decentralized, that'd be neat. I'd do it
Mhm.
100%. But also the way that I'm looking at it from that perspective is that you also right now, like, I guess now stocks are tokenized, right? Stocks are tokenized now. But you're kind of limited on what you could do compared to brokers at the moment. Like
Mm.
for example, on my IRA right now, what I mostly have is call options. So I'm actually trading options on my IRA, right? So like that is not something you could do in crypto. At least I don't know that you're able to do that with stocks yet, right? So little things like that. But yeah, man, I've actually been considering that. I was like, I don't know, maybe the move is to start doing everything tokenized and start pivoting from like from the regular traditional stock market to blockchain. And you know what I think is going to make it easier? Kraken, because Kraken now
Okay.
is offering tokenized stocks. So I think that's going to make it very, very easy. And if Robinhood could go ahead and provide that to their users where they could transfer tokenized stocks, I think it's over, man.
Oh yeah. Once stocks on Robinhood can be moved over, it'll be something else. However, I'm not sure about options, but this was some brand new news that came out yesterday, so I didn't actually have time to add it to the presentation today. But I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Wasabi Protocol, but
No, I have not.
Wasabi is partnered with X stocks, and I think it is a decentralized platform, kind of like a Hyperliquid. Uh, but what I'm trying to say here is that those X stocks on Wasabi are now you can now leverage trade them. So like you would with X stocks, just own them. You could have those X stocks on Hyperliquid and then do a leverage trade on top of them. So you could do a
No
leverage,
way.
trade
So you
on
could
the S&P.
leverage trade tokenized stocks, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Tesla, S&P,
god.
Nvidia. Yeah.
I think you opened up the whole entire new hole for me. Thank you. Appreciate you for that.
I always
We,
always
we
got the insights.
I see. I see Coach Reen's here too. He said me too. I'm assuming he's maybe talking about The stock market, that he's also in the stock market and he's killing it. Yeah, the stock market has been great. I see the thing is I went into crypto because I was against the stock market and traditional financial markets, but unfortunately right now with the pivot that we're seeing, with our political side of things and also a lot of our governments and things like that, they're pushing crypto and blockchain very aggressively. So essentially the whole entire crypto space is moving kind of like a tech stock in a way. So you definitely do not want to miss out on the money there. So that is one of the main reasons why I still keep exposure to the stock market. But I do believe in crypto more longer term. I have more belief in crypto. But let's go ahead and talk about going all in with DeFi from TriFi. See, that's the move right there. That is definitely the move. Yeah, DeFi. There's more opportunities there, and more to do. Chad also is here. Let's go, Tristan. Love the info. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Chad.
But yeah, I'm going to check out Wasabi. I'm going to go through the market real quick so I could give Tristan some time so he can go ahead and show what he's going to be sharing with us. But let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P. Is going to be the last thing. As we see, also making new all-time highs. So the stock market is killing it. The whole market's making money right now, and we could continue with that euphoria or that FOMO going into the stock or into the crypto market from stocks. I think that's when we're going to start having that trigger of this altcoin season, and we're seeing it right now. I mean, look at the view count right now. We're at 14 view count. We haven't had that since the market was like aggressively pumping. So that typically means that crypto is definitely getting some traction and more attention. So this is the time to start preparing yourself on these positions. I'll show you a few trades that I've been taking. I took Ondo and AIXBT. I'll talk a little bit about that. But I'll share a few plays with you all so you guys can go ahead and consider. But let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now currently holding at around this range of around $115,000, holding really well. I believe what's going to go ahead and happen is that we are going to see a continuation to a breakout. So I think Bitcoin is going to try to retest breaking out of this 120.23. And we're now going to be approaching that 125 zone that I mentioned a while back, which was my price target right here, 125. We're probably going to start seeing that staircase up to our next price target being 135. Now, it almost feels unreal. I mean, we were talking about this, Tristan, that one day, if you remember back right here around June, or not even then, it was actually back right here. I remember back in April when Bitcoin was at $84,000, I mentioned that like once we start to see this breakout, we could literally see $120,000 by the end of the summer and come in a lot sooner than what we expected. And look at Bitcoin. I mean, that's exactly what it has done. So it's pretty amazing to see the times we were down here. These were very hard emotionally, mentally during this time. And now we're finally getting rewarded for it, right? So that's always a good, right? So crypto market's looking amazing. Bitcoin, as long as it continues to hold here, we're going to see this continuation to the upside of a breakout. Any opinions you have with this on Tristan with Bitcoin?
Yeah, my price target for Bitcoin in this cycle was 139,000. We are moving a lot closer to that than I thought we would by now. I thought we'd be moving a lot slower towards there. But now, we almost hit 125. We were at 123. We're not too far away from where my price target was for Bitcoin this cycle. Where that means, where do we go from there? Like if we do go to 139, well, maybe I was underestimating my price target a little bit.
I wouldn't say so, man, because my price target, as you know, has always been 150. So 130 to 150, we're not too far off from each other. I think that's maybe less than a 20% move, less than 30% move from there. So, if you're talking about your price target being like 135, which would be ideally at around this zone right here, 135 would be right here. My price target is 150. So realistically speaking, it's not that far out. It's about a 9%, 10% move. Yeah. So we're like around the same price target. So I also think Bitcoin is almost near an end, guys. That's what I really personally think. I think Bitcoin is going to be coming to an end as far as its bull run, in my opinion. And I think we're going to start to see that shift into altcoins. This is one of the main reasons why we've been seeing ETH pick up in strength in a lot of the altcoins. Of course, this is all going to be dependent on how Bitcoin dominance is doing. But if we go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin dominance real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So Bitcoin dominance right now, we have been seeing, even right now on the daily, we're seeing the dominant shift from Bitcoin to altcoin. So even though Bitcoin's doing pretty well today and it's holding itself, altcoins are actually thriving a lot more. One of the main reasons why I started mentioning these last couple of weeks ago to start positioning yourselves into altcoins or higher risk tokens was because back right here around May and April, this is when Ethereum went ahead and bottomed out and reversed. And then we started seeing the same signs back right here in early July. This is one of the main reasons why I started positioning myself in alts. Of course, when Bitcoin dominance falls, that's when we start to see the shift in altcoins moving in the direction that we want, right? So risk on behavior. It typically happens when people are making a lot of money on Bitcoin. They're taking profits. They made a lot of money since, Bitcoin has been pumping for almost 2 years straight, technically. So a lot of, long-term holders have already made a good amount of money. They're taking their profits. They're feeling a little bit more confident, willing to risk a little bit more money, and they start pivoting that money into the speculative plays, which would be your altcoins and your lower cap tokens. So right now, as we see with the Bitcoin dominance, we are seeing a rejection in Bitcoin dominance. What basically Bitcoin dominance means, it basically just means from a technical standpoint, we just want to keep it very simple. Just the interest is shifting from Bitcoin. That's really what it is. The interest is falling down. So the dominance in Bitcoin right now is losing that strength. And as we see, we are getting rejected right now at the moment. What I mentioned to our community yesterday on Let's Talk Crypto, I mentioned that I do believe that we're more than likely probably going to see a rejection for Bitcoin dominance. I could probably even go as high as over here before it gets rejected, or we can start seeing this rejection start to happen. And if this rejection starts to happen, guys, listen up closely. What's going to happen is we're going to be seeing that altcoin run that we're all hoping for, altcoin season. The meme coins are going to be lagging a little bit behind. So don't be disappointed if we're not really seeing much of our meme coins really doing much. There's not much activity with memes right now at the moment. Right now, the main focus is Ethereum now. Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin in the last 2 months. And right now, altcoins are running the excitement. XRP has pumped over, I think, 50%. XLM has pumped over 100 and something percent. HBAR has pumped over, I think, almost over 60%. So a lot of these tokens have pumped aggressively. So a lot of people are now starting to position themselves into altcoins and accumulate those last dips before we start to see this possible, and I say possible because we don't know until it actually gets confirmed, altcoin season. And that's going to happen once Bitcoin dominance starts to fall. Typically, once we start to see lower cap tokens do very well, is when Bitcoin dominance starts falling below this 48% range. So let's just say under 50%. So technically speaking, we're about an 18 to 20% move for Bitcoin dominance to fall in order for us to start seeing those altcoins and those speculative bets. It could be AI agents, it could be real world assets. It could be DePIN. In my opinion, those are all speculative bets. Those are a little bit more lower cap, a little bit more volatile, but with more opportunities. And in the past cycles, once we start to see a lot of these tokens thrive, Shiba Inu was created around this time right here, back in 21, when Bitcoin dominance was around 48%. And then the other thing that we had running up was right here was actually around, this was Pepe. Pepe actually got launched right here in 23, around this zone right here when Bitcoin dominance was at 48%. A lot of us were expecting it to fall, and that's what we were expecting for this super meme coin cycle run up. It didn't happen. We actually saw the shift to Bitcoin running up, but usually typically under 48% is once we start to see those higher risk, those meme coins popping. And like I mentioned, it's already been all these tops right here that you see. There has been some meme coin runs in the past from 21, from 22, and also 23. And the two meme coins that are doing very, very well right now, that did very well in the past cycles was 21 was Shiba, and then 23 is Pepe. So I would non-financial advice, if you are willing to take some risks like Chad is and myself, I would start positioning myself in at least one meme coin. You always want to stay less than 20% of your portfolio on risk on assets. I wouldn't recommend anything over 20. If you're feeling a little bit like degen, you want to take on that risk, do 20% max, but keep it between 5 to 10%, at least being one meme coin or two. Call it a day, let it do its thing. But I think meme coins also right now are lagging a lot behind, and could start positioning. You can start positioning yourself in those tokens. What are your thoughts right here with Bitcoin dominance?
Yeah, well, it's definitely coming down like a knife. We did a little recovery yesterday. I looked at the coin market cap Bitcoin dominance chart, and it did recover a little bit, like because we were like almost full blown altcoin season on their indicator, and then yesterday it recalled a bit. So I'm thinking Bitcoin dominance, if it's I don't see it recovering at the moment. It
Wow.
maybe we're going to tread water for a little bit, but yeah, it's coming down.
Wow, that's crazy. I would have never thought I'd hear those words coming from you.
I know, right?
With that being said, I just realized I'm already late to a call. I didn't even know I had one. I just got the notification. I'm already late 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a hard stop on my end. I'm gonna shift it over to Tristan. I wish I was here to stay.
All
But
good.
I'm gonna shift it over to you, Tristan. I completely forgot about this. So let me go ahead and stop on sharing. How do I do that? There you go.
There you go.
So with that being said, guys, the tokens I'll leave you guys with before I get going, check out Barachain, Uniswap, Sushi Swap. It's one I've been talking about. Right now, I entered a trade on XLM as well. I think XLM is looking very, very good. And AIXBT, a little bit more of a risk on to go ahead and do, but I think this one you can start positioning yourself, and Ondo. So, of course, not financial advice, but I hope you all have a good one. Make some really good money in the next coming days. And it was great talking to you, Tristan. Looking forward to our next call that we have together.
All righty. I'll talk to you later, John. Good luck.
And take care.
Ciao. All right, everyone, you're stuck with me. Here we go. We got a good little bit of a slideshow presentation just to cover up what we have seen so far in the news this week. So here we go. So, as you all know, everybody has a stable coin nowadays. And if you don't recognize that logo, you might be surprised about who is joining the pack, who will be joining the stablecoin creator league or whatever is going on right now. It was very shocking for me, at least. All right. So, crypto news around the world. There was a Ponzi scheme in the UK. That was apparently coordinated by Chinese. I think it was like Chinese gangsters, I guess is the best word. Basically, it was a Chinese Ponzi scheme. They were demanding that they were getting some Bitcoin or something. It's very hard to understand what happened here. But there was a bit of a, I guess you could say, the sorry, the UK there was a Ponzi scheme running in the UK. They were collecting Bitcoin from people. It was run by actually some Chinese gangsters. The UK government confiscated that Bitcoin, about $61,000, 61,000 Bitcoin worth. So that is all the Bitcoin that the UK holds. But now they're actually talking about looking to sell their Bitcoin. I know last week we talked about, I think it was Bulgaria, so country in the Balkans there. They sold all their Bitcoin two years ago or so, and they put it towards their country's debt. However, if they held it to where Bitcoin is today, they would have been able to pay off all of their country's debt. So countries are actually terrible holders of Bitcoin. Often they end up selling. You could also look at Germany. Germany sold their Bitcoin right before the last run up in Bitcoin that we saw. And now the UK is also considering selling their Bitcoin right now. So you might think that might be, you could say that's maybe a bullish signal, just because governments never tend to sell their Bitcoin at the right time. Still in England, they are considering at the moment launching a CBDC. It is in the works. They are running a pilot project for it right now, so it's not active, but they are testing it. They're talking about actually killing it now, so like full off, just not doing it. Lots of risks and public criticism have been going to the UK Federal Reserve, their version of the Federal Reserve, Bank of England. Lots of complaints have been going that way. Lots of people are worried what a CBDC could do, just because it gives the government a lot of power. Like you have the power to shut down someone's bank account. You have the power to decide what someone may or may not purchase. If that person has given the UK a reason to not want them to travel, you shut down their bank account. They can't buy plane tickets. They can't buy train tickets. So it gives too much power to one entity, in my opinion. But at the moment, England is still in the works of pushing this out. However, lots of criticism towards it at the moment. Still in the UK, authorities seized 7 crypto ATMs and arrested 2 people in London for suspected money laundering and illegal crypto operations. No legal crypto ATMs operate in the UK. Running one without an FCA license is a criminal offense. So these were basically crypto ATMs that were smuggled in, set up unregistered. It was a little sketchy, but the UK authorities shut them down. In New Zealand, this was last week or the week before. New Zealand shut down all their crypto ATMs as well. So crypto ATMs around the world are facing a lot of issues, and that a lot of that is because that if a lot of there's not a ton of criminal activity going through crypto, but when there is criminal activity going through crypto, they want to do things in cash, and the only real easy way to get straight cash is through a crypto ATM. So crypto ATMs are on the hot seat around the world. Maybe expect a little less of them around your local neighborhood. Speaking of China, so Chinese pork manufacturer BitOrigin has now gone Bitcoin miner. So this former pork producer has actually turned into a Bitcoin miner. On top of Bitcoin mining, they are now adding Doge to their mining strategy. For those who don't know, it's quite actually easy to set up a Doge. It's easier to set up a Dogecoin miner. Dogecoin isn't as complicated as Bitcoin. They run on the same blockchain, and you can see that top picture there. That is an ASIC miner that you can use for Doge. If you wanted to ever talk about that for the members who are in the call, you can let me know. I used to run a few miners back in the day. So if you were interested in mining Doge, Bitcoin, or anything else, feel free to let me know. And we also got news out of the U.S. government. The U.S. Senate Republicans have released a draft for a crypto market structure bill, the Responsible Financial Innovation Act, building on the House's passed Clarity Act. The Senate bill amends disclosure for requirements for digital assets, allowing collaboration between the SEC and the CFTC, and addresses non-security ancillary assets. So that's like crypto assets, for another fun name for crypto assets. There is bipartisan support for crypto right now. For example, the Genius bill that just went through the House, after a few amendments, because it got shut down the first time, even a lot of Democrats got on board with it. So anything with bipartisan support in U.S. government right now is rare, but it's good to see it. It's healthy for the country. And a quick look at inflation before we talk about some interest rates here. Inflation in the U.S. is looking like to be pretty low at 2.02%. This is judged by Trueflation, which is my go-to source for seeing what the real what the real inflation rate is in the economy at the moment. This bodes well for rate cuts, because we do like to have lower inflation, hopefully less than 2.5, maybe around 2%. And that will give the Fed a reason to proceed with rate cuts. As you can see, it looks like we're not getting a rate cut in July, not happening. 96% chance of no change at the moment from Poly Market. However, in September, it looks like we're inching towards a 25 basis point cut. 52% chance of a 25 basis point cut. Funny enough, 6% chance of a 50 basis point cut, and then 43% chance to no change. So things are actually looking really optimistic for September. A rate cut would be a lighter fluid on a fire that could be this new altcoin season. So fingers crossed we get that rate cut. That would be great for altcoins and all risk on assets. Moving to corporate news, I thought this was, I chuckled when I read this. This was a crypto scam, so it's not, scams aren't funny, but this one is interesting. A Colorado pastor and his wife have been indicted on 40 counts for $3.4 million crypto scam involving their INDX coin. This affected 300 investors. The couple allegedly misused 1.3 million of investor funds for personal expenses, including a home renovation. Basically what happened is they told their followers that the Lord had told them to buy this token and that everyone else should buy this token because the Lord told them to do so. Maybe if God came to me or the Lord came to me in a dream and told me to buy a specific token, me personally, I might consider it. That would be an important enough event in my life that I might, maybe we'll do that. However, if someone else told me that the Lord told them to buy this token, then I'd be a little bit more suspicious. Anyways, I thought this was quite amusing. Very creative scams nowadays, so you always got to be careful. We also had Robert Kiyosaki this weekend say that there is a Bitcoin bubble in gold. Well, there's a bubble in Bitcoin, in gold and silver, and that he would be buying after the crash. Robert Kiyosaki, for those who don't know, is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, very popular financial book and personal finance book. He has been a big proponent of Bitcoin. He's a big believer in Bitcoin. So this kind of bearish stance that he took was a little bit of a shock. But for the most part, I kind of agree with him. I think there might be a little bit of a bubble forming, very little bit, but I don't think it'd be popping anytime soon. Small bubbles. Also, we got 21 shares falling for an SEC spot for an Ondo ETF. This was one of the tokens that John just mentioned before he left. Something he was looking at. This Ondo token would be with Coinbase. So Coinbase would be the custodian holding the actual Ondo tokens. There is to be no speculation or leverage in this ETF, just straight up Ondo tokens. Ondo has a $3.5 billion market cap right now and focuses on the real world asset sector. So quite optimistic about this. I think Ondo is a great project. Hopefully we get an ETF out of it, not too far away from now. We also saw the first time Bitcoin ETFs had a bad day in a while. It was like 2 weeks or so, 12 days. We just had a little bit of a retracement in Bitcoin, and John was saying that while we're doing the technical analysis, not everything goes straight up. Sometimes things do pull back. So we did have that first red day in Bitcoin ETF inflows in a while. Actually saw some outflows. Speaking of ETFs, the SSK Solana ETF, the first ETF out there with staking. So this ETF for Solana does indeed pay a dividend yield from the yield that this company SSK is getting from staking their Solana in this ETF. Hopefully that made sense. Basically, it's doing quite well. The SSK ETF has been gaining lots of traction among investors, and we can see the actual chart here looking pretty decent. Basically, since it's launched, it's been trending upwards the whole time, so not bad. All right, and then we move to Tone. So Tone, oh no, we lost the share screen. Good thing I found it before we lost. There we go. So Ton, this is now available in the US wallets, for US users. Ton wallet, which is part of Telegram, is now, like I said, available in the US. So that's great for all the US viewers here. Ton is a self-custodial wallet, so similar to like a MetaMask or a Rabby. Pretty certain you could also connect it to your ledger if you wish to. The actual Tether network is doing quite well. This is a token that I'm looking forward to. This is a token that I am always watching. I think you got great utility here. Lots of people use Telegram to send money back and forth to each other. You can pay for goods and services now right through Telegram as well. So great stuff happening with the Ton project. And we also had an IPO filed by BitGo. BitGo is a large centralized exchange. It will be doing a live IPO on the New York Stock Exchange. When that happens, hard to say. BitGo's assets grew under custody from 60 billion to 100 billion in 2025. This is just goes to show the strong demand for crypto that we have at the moment. And BitGo is also pursuing their EU MiCA license. So hopefully they'll get that soon. JP Morgan, we talked about JP Morgan last week as well. Last week they were talking about them starting their own stable coin. Now they're talking about creating their own crypto-backed loans using Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are some sites out there, some protocols, some projects out there that I like for using, for doing lending and borrowing. One of them would be Spark.finance by MakerDAO. That one's a great one. Camino, like I said earlier, also a pretty good one. But Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan are planning on making an entrance into the scene as well. Hard to say what kind of interest rates they would offer. Are they even going to be, competitive? Would they be too high? Hard to say. But yeah, JP Morgan continuing to jump into crypto. We also last slide here, and then we got then we can end it there. But as I was saying about stable coins in the beginning, the Western Union, so like the anti-crypto, one of the reasons why crypto was invented, that company, Western Union, they have now gone and said that they are in the process of creating a stable coin as well. So you got every big bank in the world, you got the cross-border payments companies in the world. Everybody seems to be making a stable coin nowadays. This specific Western Union one would be used to, send money across borders. And it makes sense because the actual Western Union business has been absolutely getting crushed by crypto. Because, if you wanted to send $100 from the United States right now to Bangladesh, you would have to use Western Union. You'd get hit by a massive fee. So like if you sent $100, you'd probably end up having to pay a $10 fee. It's going to take 3 to 5 business days. Or you can use crypto and it might have a 10-cent fee. And instead of 3 to 5 business days, it's 3 to 5 seconds. So it makes total sense why Western Union is going down this route. They see as you can see, they see where things are headed. They see where technology is going. Their businesses become antiquated. They either have to adapt or die. And as you can see here, the Western Union stock absolutely languishing basically since the end of 2021. And you know what? I might be wrong to say this, but I'm kind of thinking that would be a fault of cryptocurrency and the rise of the stable coins out there. So Western Union not doing too well. It has a super high dividend, 10%. Is not shabby, not too shabby, but it's just something I'm not watching myself currently at the moment. Yeah, that is basically all the questions, all the slides that I had to go through today. Since John is already out, I guess we could just call it here. So thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you're walking away with some clear strategies and insights to push your DeFi journey forward. Remember, DeFi is evolving fast, and staying ahead means taking action with the right knowledge. If you're ready to dive even deeper and want a roadmap to build your own DeFi success, check out our DeFi Masterclass. The free group is in the description below. In the training, you'll receive clear hands-on strategies to maximize returns, manage risk, and truly make the most of what DeFi has to offer. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's live episode. Until then, keep growing, keep learning, and I'll see you here, right here next time on Decentralized Masters. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we are done for today.